Now that we have our tubes rolled, we're almost ready to start our sculpture, but we need to first create a base. So this is where you'll need the cardboard. You'll need, of course, a pair of scissors, a ruler, a pencil, your sheet of patterned paper that you did not cut up for rolls, and glue. We want a 4" by 4" base for our sculpture. So I'm going to use a piece of this cardboard to create a 4" by 4" square. So since my camera is over here, it won't allow me to really work with this piece of cardboard turned in this direction so that you can see what I'm doing with this piece here. I'm going to use this straight edge of the cardboard, meaning it's one that was done by the manufacturer. I haven't cut it. And I'm going to line up the 4" measurement of my ruler to that edge, and I'm going to make a mark at the 0 because I want 4" from this edge. I'm doing that at the bottom, and I'm going to do that at the top. Once I have that, then I'm going to line up those two marks, and I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to cut this line so that I have a 4" wide strip. So I'll do that off camera and I'll be back. Now that I have a 4" wide sheet of cardboard, I need a 4" square. Now both of my edges made by the manufacturer here are a little damaged from the box being folded. So what I'm going to do is give myself a new straight edge to work with. So I'm going to line up the 0 to the left edge, and I'm just going to come over about 2 inches. Make a mark. Do the same thing at the top here. And I'm going to create my new straight edge. Now that I have my new straight edge, I'm going to then use it for lining up the 0 of my ruler, and I want a 4" base. So I'm making a mark at 4. And another mark at 4. Line those two marks up. And that's going to give me my 4" base. So I'm going to cut along these lines, and I'll be back when that is finished. So now that I have my 4" square base, I'm going to cover it with my pattern paper. And I don't want to just create a 4" square out of this and just glue over the top, because then you can still see the rough edges of the cardboard. What I want to do is wrap this. So I'm going to look for an area that I like the best. And since I have a couple of different patterns in this area, I'm going to use this spot here. And I'm going to apply some glue to my cardboard. Again, even though I want to cover this entire surface with glue, I don't want a huge clumpy mess of glue. So notice I keep the tip of my glue bottle to the surface in which I'm gluing. Then that way it leaves a bare minimum amount of glue that I'm applying. I'm then going to once again take my paper, lay it down, rub over the surface to help start that to stick. And then I'm going to carefully pick it up and flip it over. So I'm going to give my paper a little bit of help in folding around that corner, and all I'm going to do is take my pencil right up against the edge of my cardboard and draw. And that's just going to help bend the paper a little bit so that it will wrap around my top corners easier. Once I have that, I'm going to pick up my edges and fold them over. Now I'll go ahead and apply some glue. And glue this down. And I'm going to do that to all 4 sides until I have this piece of cardboard wrapped up. I'll be back when that is finished. So I'm on the last part that needs wrapped. And what I'm going to do is just take my scissors while they're closed, or even my pencil, and I'm just going to run and crease this fold here so that when I bend it up, it's going to fold easily. And before I glue though, I want to trim off this excess piece. So I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to draw a line, I'm going to cut this off, I'm going to cut a little bit behind the line towards the base. Going to double check that. By cutting behind the line there, that keeps any excess paper from coming out past my base. So now that I have that, I'm going to once again cover this surface with some glue. Again, tip of the glue bottle down so that I'm just leaving a light thin layer of glue. And I'm going to fold this over and glue that down. So that will give us our base for our sculpture. So now it's decorated. It no longer looks like a piece of cardboard. And we are ready to now start working with our sculpture materials to create our abstract sculpture.